Good morning, everyone. It's Ebony with The Identity is She. And as always, we are talking self-love, being free in your identity, no matter what you look like, no matter what you weigh. And in today's show, it is April 1st. So we are all about setting intentions, setting goals, and how to come up with realistic goals, realistic intentions, realistic plans, and what that could look like for today and the rest of the month and the rest of this year. So first, I want to talk about a prior episode of just existing. And you guys really connected with that, especially on my Instagram. Tons of people were commenting saying like, oh, I really love that perspective. I love that, I don't have to do so much, be everything, be this successful, have all these goals and yada, yada, yada. I can just exist. And I think messages that are about just existing, just waking up and that being a goal, making up your bed and that being a goal, are very important because we get so sidetracked by all of this personal development stuff that we feel we absolutely have to do every single day. So when you're thinking about your goals and when you're thinking about your intentions for the new month, just keep in mind, like, just existing is a goal. Like just being who you are, waking up, doing the very few things that you need to do to get done for the rest of the day and for the rest of the year is enough. So I want to encourage you that you're doing enough. So now as you set new intentions and new goals and new plans for the month, just keep in mind that you're doing okay. Come from a place of positivity and not from a place of negative. I think so many people are like, so discouraged by what they have going on in life, whether it be jobs, whether it be relationships, whether it be kids, things like that. And they get so consumed with all of these things that they have to do that it becomes almost impossible to reach new goals and climb new heights because you're already doing so much. So first, before we even talk about goal setting, I think we need to like scale things back. And for one, figure out like exactly what your schedule is and exactly how much time you can actually commit to accomplishing your goals. So for example, if you're working 2 or 3 jobs, if you only have one day off a week, then prioritize that day off of a week that you have for it to be about you, for it to be about your self-care, for it to be about cleaning the house, cleaning your mind, getting everything in order. Also, what I would encourage you to do if you work 1 or 2 jobs is do it like nobody does, which is take vacation days. Take vacation days for yourself. Vacation days shouldn't always just be about, I'm going here or I'm going there, but you should always take a vacation day, whether it be once or twice a month or once every couple months, to just refocus on you, reset your goals. And that's something that I've noticed that people don't do. We don't realize that vacations on their own are stressful, especially if you have a significant other or a kid and you have to plan for all of that stuff. You have to get their stuff ready. You have to get your stuff ready. You got to make sure you get on the plane or make sure you get in the car on time. Make sure you check into the hotel. It can be very stressful. So why not have a day outside of the 1 day or 2 days you get off a week to say, okay, this is my day to just focus on me. This is my day to plan. This is my day to prepare. So before we go any further into goal setting and new intentions and creating new plans and new things that we want to accomplish for the month, let's keep in mind that before you do any of that, have 1 day set where I'm taking this day off, I'm taking this Wednesday off, and I'm going to stay at home the entire day and just focus on me, whether that be cleaning house, doing laundry, watching your favorite show, catching up on sleep, because most people are not getting in their full 8 hours that we're supposed to be getting in every day. It's just simply focusing on your goals and aligning your goals with what you want to accomplish, but doing it in a realistic way. So many of us are like, oh, I really want to be successful. I want to have X amount of dollars in the bank. I want to be this and I want to be that, but we don't have a set plan of how we're going to get there. The set plan starts first with you, and it starts first with you organizing your schedule and figuring out, how can I set aside this 1 day a month or 1 day every 2 months to say, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to plan things out. Another thing with setting goals is be realistic, okay? I know I'm talking to future millionaires out there, but millionaires don't just happen overnight. Millionaires don't just happen in 1 month. It takes time, it takes goals, and it takes years and years to kind of plan and get there. So maybe your goal is, I want to increase my income by 25%. Very realistic goal. So instead of thinking, oh, I just want to be a millionaire, right? Don't we all? It's reorganizing, replanning, prioritizing, and taking little goals one step at a time. So maybe your goal this month is you want to increase your income by 25%. Well, how will you do that? The first thing that you should do is, and I've said this before on prior episodes, is come up with a financial plan, a financial breakdown, so you can figure out how much money you actually have left over to invest into stocks or invest into other areas that you might be interested in. But you can't really do it if you don't know how much you have left over. So what you do in terms of a financial breakdown is you take how much you're making, right? And you're going to subtract all of your bills, from your electricity to your rent or your mortgage to your entertainment, even to food, to all of these things that are considered bills and that are considered your expenses, especially things like internet, and also your subscriptions, the gym membership, all of these things. You want to take into consideration everything. I suggest you put it on some sort of board that you can see every single month, whether that be a calendar or whether that be, like for me, I use Trello. Something where you can see how much it is that you're spending, so you can set these realistic goals. Because in order to become super successful, or to be a millionaire, or to sell $100,000 or more, to be 6-figure, 7-figure business owner, or to even accomplish that amount, it's all about goals. It's all about planning. It's all about figuring out how you can do it. And without that financial breakdown, it's hard to figure out what you can do moving forward. You might not have the money to be able to invest into other things and make that additional 25% income that you want to make. What do? Well, you have to kind of scale it back a little bit. You have to think about your expenses, thinking about budgeting, thinking about all of these necessary things so that you can plan ahead. So again, new intentions, new goals. What do you want to accomplish for yourself in 2024? Now, in January, we set out these really big goals of like, I want to be this, I want to do this. This is how I foresee the rest of my life to be. We set out these really big goals for the year. And I think around this time, it's usually the time where we fall off of those goals because reality sets in. You've got bills, you've got expenses, you might have unforeseen expenses, car problems, things that you might have to pay for that you didn't foresee. However, we're going to calculate all of those things, take all of those things in, and make a plan for our future. Okay? Goals, intentions. And I go back to the dreams that you had when you were a little kid, the dreams that keep you up at night, the dreams that continue to just circulate your mind. What do those dreams look like? And how can you accomplish that one step at a time? So as you're doing your goals this month and thinking about what revenue you want to make and what business decisions you want to make, really think about what you set forth in January and how life has shifted from January now to April. So we've got May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. We have all of these months. We still have plenty of the year left for you to accomplish your goals. Going back to what I said previously about just existing, right? Maybe your goal is just to spend more time with yourself. How many of us even have that as a goal? You know, we get so focused on all the other things that we want to do and have to do that we do not have a plan of what we're going to do in terms of how we're going to treat ourselves, how we're going to care for ourselves. So keep that in mind as you're planning, as you're strategizing and coming up with new goals for the future. Why is self-care important? Well, because you want to prevent yourself from burnout. You want to prevent yourself from emotional overwhelm. You want to prevent yourself from unproductive tendencies that steer you away from your goals. What do those things look like? Things like burnout. What that looks like is you just do not have the energy to do shit. You like literally sit there and you're just like, I can't do anything else because I'm already doing X, Y, and Z. And burnout is something that's so real. And how do we prevent burnout? Again, it goes back to that taking that one day or maybe 2 days out of the month to say, these are my days. These are days where I don't leave the house and I really focus on my goals, my plans, and what I am intending to accomplish for the year. I also think it's important that you do things like time blocking and organizing your schedule throughout the week. So if you're saying like, okay, I need to cook, I need to clean, I need to do this, I need to do that, spend 2 to 3 hours doing everything that you have planned out to do, and only put 3 things on your list in terms of what you intend to accomplish. How many of us go into Sunday and we're like, on Sunday, I need to do 10 different things. I need to cook. I need to clean. I need to go grocery shopping. I need to get my kids' meals ready. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do that. And then it becomes overwhelming to the point where you're just like, oh, you know what? I just ordered pizza and I spent Sunday on the couch, right? Because we are doing so much and we're go, go, go all the time. Do we ever have a moment to sit back and stop and think, okay, is what I'm doing today helping me accomplish my goals? Is the plans that I've set out for myself in January and now in April, is it really going to get me to where I need to be for the next few months coming up? I also think for business owners, right? A big thing to plan on that I've actually personally ignored and I'm just now getting back into is themes that come out throughout the month. So we just had Easter. We know we have Mother's Day. We know we have Father's Day. Coming up with campaigns and strategies and solutions around what's going on in the holidays coming up. I know that from previous meetings with a business owner, he told me that, you know, already you should have your strategies planned out for Halloween, your strategies planned out for Christmas, for Mother's Day, for Father's Day. And so many times we don't have that simply because we are so go, go, go. So as a business owner, really think, okay, Mother's Day is coming up. How can I profit off of Mother's Day? What can I sell? Whether you are selling business to business or business to consumer, whether you're selling a product or a service, right? Really think about the themes that are coming up and the holidays that are coming up and how you can potentially profit from those holidays. All right. So Mother's Day, you can throw a Mother's Day conference. You can throw a Mother's Day seminar. You can throw a parenting seminar, okay? If you're a product, if you sell products like myself, you can do t-shirts or some sort of floral arrangement. Or if you sell food, you can sell food all circulating around Mother's Day, Father's Day, things like that. And I think a lot of times people ignore those themes and holidays that come up simply because we don't have a plan of how we're going to go about it. But one thing I've noticed from a lot of successful brands out there is they profit the most around certain holidays. So that's something to think about is like, okay, I'm going to do something for Valentine's Day this year. I'm going to do something special for Christmas this year. I'm going to host a seminar or a gala or something like that. Those are things that you can do around certain themes and holidays that people are already going to be spending money. Okay. So if you have a business, really think about themes, think about holidays, think about all of these trending things that come up in the media, right? That we can essentially benefit off of. Okay. So for me, I'm still working out what I'm going to do for other campaigns that I have planned for the year, but I know already what I'm going to do for Halloween. I already know I have plans in mind of what I'm going to do for Christmas and things like that. So really structure out. And if you're a business owner, it's so important to have, and I've said this before, a content calendar, a content strategy, and allow that strategy to be organized based off of the themes and the holidays that there are going around through the year. Because like Easter just passed, you could have had Easter baskets that you've sold, right? All of these things. When it comes to making additional income, why not use holidays as your way to create that additional income for yourself? Starting a brand, starting a business based off of a certain holiday that might come up or that is going to come up, whether it be Mother's Day, Father's Day, Halloween, Christmas, all of that stuff. So these are certain things to think about as you are doing your goals. Okay, I know this holiday is coming up and this is how I can profit off of this holiday. Or I know that holiday is coming up and this is how I can profit off of that holiday. So really thinking month by month, but really thinking about the entire year as a whole. So for me, I use Trello, which is a free app. And I'll put, okay, March, April, May, June, July. These are what I'm going to do for each and every month. I know that summertime is coming up, so I want to do a summertime sale. So like a Hot Girl Summer box, a Hot Girl Summer subscription box, things like that you can start promoting. You also want to plan ahead as much as possible. And that's not just for business owners. That's for my 9-to-5ers, my people that have 2 or 3 jobs. The more we plan ahead, the more successful we are going to be, regardless of where you're at. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling that burnout, really plan ahead. If this month is just not going to work in terms of accomplishing your goals, think next month, think the month after that. What can you do? What is a product or service that you can bring to the table? What is a way that you can organize your finances so that you have more finances that you can deal with, so that when May and June and July and these summer months hit, you know exactly how much money you're going to have. So things, when we're thinking about new plans, new goals, new intentions, we want to plan ahead and we don't want to overwhelm ourselves, right? So 3 things that you can do every single day to get to where you want to be. Okay. So what are the 3 things? Writing those down every single day. I think a big thing that people aren't utilizing is like things like email lists, right? Why are email lists important? Because people get emails every single day. I think about companies like Fashion Nova that sends emails every day, that sends text messages every day. If they can do it, you can do it too. So thinking about creating an email list. And again, maybe you don't have a product or a service that you're selling right now, but you want to sell something for the future. Having that email list set up and put in play will definitely help you better align your goals. Okay. Why are we so focused on achieving our goals? I think it's just in us, right? We see all of these people that are super successful and we want to be like them. We want to be in these higher elevated spaces, right? But as we do that, let's also appreciate where we are and where we have come from and use that as motivation to continue up this ladder of success that we are trying to build. So if you came from nothing, if you literally had to fight your way to get to where you want to be, appreciate that shit and acknowledge that shit and know that you did that. And if you are able to come from nothing, you can get to the 6 figures, the 7 figures, the 8 figures, but it's going to take time. It's going to take faith. It's going to take patience, and it's going to take goal planning every single month. So as this new month is upon us, How can we plan? How can we organize our goals? What new intentions are we wanting to create? Okay. Maybe your goal is just to be healthier. How will you plan? How will you align your health goals to what you already set forth for yourself? And I know that like when we're talking about self-development, self-improvement, self-help, all of that stuff, it can be very daunting. It can be very overwhelming. But again, it goes back to your why. It goes back to the reason that you're even doing it in the first place. Maybe the reason that you are wanting to be healthy is you want to feel more confident in your body. You want to feel more confident as you are going and doing all of these things. I know for my best friend, she is starting to put herself more in the limelight now for her business. And she's just like, yeah, I really want to get my health goals in order so that I can feel more confident as I'm being put more in the spotlight, right? So it goes back to your why. We don't just do shit just to do shit. We are doing stuff to better align with our goals and with what we have set forth for ourselves in terms of our plans, in terms of our intentions. So really think about what type of year you want to have, and has quarter one been successful for you, or has quarter one been like disastrous? Have you had to put out more fires, or have you been able to be prosperous in what you've created and what you've generated thus far? And I know that I talk a lot about businesses. I talk a lot about creating multiple sources of income. But the reality is, like I've said before, inflation is real. The cost of things going up and up, from groceries to all of these things that we need on this planet, the costs continue to rise, right? And we've noticed that as these costs rise, income from our jobs is pretty stagnant. A lot of companies are experiencing layoffs. They can't simply afford to have all of these people that they've hired. So when it comes to creating multiple sources of income, it makes sense to be able to combat inflation. When you only have one income source, you become so reliant on that income source. That's literally all you have. So that if anything were to happen to that income source, whether it be your check comes late, whether it be you get laid off, then you're starting from literally nowhere. So always thinking of multiple sources of income, multiple things that you can do, whether that be having a second job, whether that be having a business, having a way to generate revenue. So again, going back to goal planning, goal setting, intentions, things like that. I know for a lot of people, financial goals are so important. Start with the financial breakdown, what it is, like how much money you have left over after everything is said and done, after all the bills are paid, after all the food is spent, after all of that, and really think about what you can do for the months moving forward. Okay. So as we're talking about new intentions, new goals, setting all of these things in April and our months coming up, we want to really dial in on what we have, like what we can actually do. Okay. I think for so many people, our goals are so far beyond, and it's cool to have really great goals. That's really cool. That's amazing that you want to be a millionaire. Absolutely. But first we have to get to being a six-figure earner first. Then from a six-figure earner, we can go up to the seven-figure earner, and we can go up from there. How do we even get there? Planning month by month of what you can do. The financial breakdown, how you will be able to figure out how much money you have left over so that you can do X, Y, and Z for the foreseeable months. Okay. So we're thinking new intentions, new things on the horizons, things that we want to accomplish for the year. Okay. We all want results, right? We all want to see new results. But how do we actually see those new results? What you do every single day is going to help get you to a place where you can see those results that you want to see in the future. Sometimes we get so caught up in the present and what we want to have right now and what feels good in the moment that we forget about what could potentially be best for us in the long run, right? Thinking about health goals. Well, what feels good is probably to order pizza, is probably to go through the drive through. But what's better for our life goals and for our health goals and to have, a healthier body and a healthier mindset and to feel more confident in our body is to plan ahead, is to cook, is to be in those spaces where we can really dial in on better health choices. And again, it's step by step. It starts with already the habits that you've already created. So many of us are also trying to go from 0 to 100 so fast. We want like results right now. So we think we have to speed to get there. Most successful people will tell you it happens step by step, little by little, because what happens when you try to speed that way, right? And I think about somebody who just ran into like an extra $1,000, right? So they're like, okay, cool. I'm going to sell t-shirts. All right. I'm going to sell t-shirts. I'm going to order 1,000 t-shirts and I'm going to sell these in a month. Okay. Whoa, you're moving way too fast, way too fast, friend. We want to start slow and do little by little in order to get us where we want to go. So instead of thinking, oh, if I speed everything up, I'm going to get there fast, what steps can you make today to get you to where you want to be in your future? So going back to the person that came into $1,000, maybe you take that $1,000 and say, instead of making 1,000 t-shirts, I'm going to make 10 t-shirts. Okay. I'm going to make 10 t-shirts. I'm going to sell those 10 first. I'm going to take that money from the 10 t-shirts that I've sold, and then I'm going to sell another 10. And then I can get from 10 to 20. Then I can get from 20 to 30. So instead of always trying to fast track and do everything so quickly, because we want the result, taking it step by step, little by little. Okay. Now, what things can we do to help us accomplish this goal? We know we need to come up with a financial breakdown. We know we need to plan. We know we need to prepare, right? We know we need to write down 3 things that we want to accomplish every single day. All right. What tools can we use to help us become more successful? Well, there's a lot of tools out there, guys. There's a lot of tools out there in place to help you become more successful. One I find is great is an organization app, and an app that really can help you stay organized. So I go back to Trello just because that's what I personally use, but if you Google organization apps, they can help you really dial in how to be organized to prepare for a successful future. Okay. So that's one thing, is thinking about what kind of apps you're using and how you can incorporate that into your everyday planning. Don't just download an app and like never use it, right? Download the app and actually start using it to help organize yourself, to catapult you into this land of great things that you want to accomplish for your future. Okay. Other apps and other things that we can use. Well, everybody is talking about Chat GPT and AI. Well, how can you use Chat GPT and AI in everyday life? I'm glad you asked. Okay. So maybe it's coming up with an email response, or coming up with a new campaign for your business, or coming up with a new product to sell. Getting into Chat GPT and searching new products that I can sell in 2024. Okay. And the more specific you get, the better off you're going to see with using those type of apps. Okay. I want to create certain things for people. And again, it goes back to your niche. It goes back to, who are you creating things for? Who are you wanting to target when you're doing the things that you're wanting to accomplish? Okay. So before you start using Chat GPT, before you start using AI, really think about how you can use that for help. Maybe it's going on Chat GPT and searching What are helpful financial breakdowns that I can utilize? What are apps to help me kind of come up with a great financial tool, a great resource for me? Um, I also think another app that's really cool to use is the ROI calculator. What is the ROI calculator? It's the return of investment calculator. So, going back to that example of the person selling t-shirts, you want to determine what your return of investment could potentially look like. And that's with everything, right? That's with stocks, that's with businesses. What could your return of investment look like? Because the last thing you want to do, which happens time and time again, is going back to that person that has that made $1,000, decided to buy 1,000 t-shirts, and then they've realized after a couple months in, I can't sell this shit. So they can't sell it. So they end up decreasing the cost to actually sell the product, and then they realize their return of investment wasn't even fucking worth it. How many times does that happen, right? Simply because we didn't plan out beforehand of what we want to do and what our return of investment can look like. So if I put $50 into something, I want to get a big return, as much of a return as possible. What profit margin should we be looking at, and what exactly is a profit margin? I'm sure you've heard that term before. So your profit margin is essentially how much money you are profiting after your expenses. That's your profit margin. So if a t-shirt costs you $8 to make, right? If you sell it for $8, what's your profit margin? Nothing. Zero. So going back to that person that made the 1,000 t-shirts, before doing all of that, you want to figure out what you're going to sell it for, how much you're going to make off of it. And the really great profit margin to have is about 70%. Okay. So if I make it for $8 and I sell it for like $30, I would be looking at about a 70% profit margin. That is gold. A lot of companies will tell you, if you can get in that 70% profit margin, meaning off of every item that you're selling, you're profiting about 70% of that, meaning it's only costing you 30% to make the product, and then you're profiting 70%, that is what's really going to get you to the 6 figures and the 7 figures, is the higher profit margin. Okay. Now, what if you're a business owner and you're just like, okay, have you not seen the economy right now? People are not spending. So many businesses are struggling right now. What do I do? How do I increase my profit margin when people aren't even buying my shit right now? Great question. My answer to that, reinvention. Say it with me, reinvention. So many brands and business owners, right, that have done certain things 5 or 10 years ago and have noticed now in 2024 that they are not working. They simply reinvent themselves. They come up with different campaigns, different strategies, whether it be even a different brand, a different label, something that makes it different so that you can reinvent yourself. It's very, very challenging to sell the same product year after year after year and expect the same results, okay? So if you've been a business owner for a long time, like myself, really thinking about things that you can use to really reinvent yourself, okay? So for me, big thing that I've been thinking about, as I said before, are the holidays and how I can profit off of the holidays. Now, there is evergreen products, and then there are holiday themed products and products that are really only marketed around the holidays and marketed around certain themes. Evergreen products or evergreen things that you sell are things that can sell every time throughout the year. Okay. So they can sell any month, any given time, right? And those evergreen products are great to have simply because you don't have to work as hard to sell evergreen products because they're always there. But when it comes to reinvention, it's hard to reinvent with evergreen products, right? Because you already have these products that have been selling and you're trying to basically reinvent yourself with products that you've already been selling year after year after year. So instead, coming up with new ideas, new plans, new things that you can market around a theme or market around a holiday or market around what is trending. Okay. So really think, and I'm talking to my business owners that have been in business for year after year after year, and you're noticing a decline in sales, it's all about reinvention. How can you reinvent and recreate something that you've already created? So, what has been the most profitable for me this month has been a campaign that I have started called Cinnamon Rolls. What it is a book, a printed book of women, all shapes and sizes, showcasing their rolls. So their rolls, their jiggles, their wiggles, all of those things, in terms of like their body rolls and things like that. And I'm calling it cinnamon rolls, right? So this new campaign that I've done, and I've done printed books throughout like the lifetime of my business, but this new campaign, I ended up charging people more for it and I included more, and I'm going to get a bigger return of my investment simply because I came up with a new idea, a new concept, and I charged the customer more for something new. Okay. So that might be a really good idea for you. Instead of going back to the evergreen products that you've sold for 10 years or the past 5 years and just marking that shit up like, oh, well, I've sold my stuff for $15 and now I'm going to sell it for 30 just because of inflation. It's going to be hard to get those sales. It's going to be hard to get people that have been known to pay you X amount of dollars for what you do to pay you double that amount simply because of what's going on in the economy. However, when you create something new plans, a new concept, a new idea, a new item that it is that you're selling, you really market that in a unique way and sell it at a higher cost, you will probably get more people that will be interested in it because it's new. Okay. So again, talking to my business owners that have been in business for a long time, don't just go back to the same things that you've been doing. As you're setting these new goals for April and these new months coming up, thinking about new products that you can sell, new things on the horizon, and relating it to what you see on social media, what you see trending, what you see that people are looking at, people are wanting. And also something new, something that is reinventing so that you can sell it at a higher price point. Okay. Other things to think about when we're talking new intentions, a new start, a new focus, a new mindset, a new beginning, and a new month. Okay. What is it as you really think about entering into this new month? It goes back to what is it that you truly, truly want? What is it that you have been wanting for so long? Okay. Really dial into what it is that you want and create realistic things, set goals so that you can accomplish that. Okay. And again, it's not 10 things, it's literally 1 to 3 things. Okay. Going back to my previous episode of the guy who wanted to be the pilot and the cartoonist and the graphic designer and the illustrator, like, whoa. How are you going to accomplish all of those goals when you have like 17 things that you want to do? Dial in on really what you want to accomplish and also do your research on what people want, because people might not even want what it is that you're selling or what it is that you're offering, right? Do research on what people want and what people are looking for. Now, what are people looking for? Okay. I'm glad you asked. New things that are on the horizon that people are looking for. The biggest thing that people want in 2024 are things that make your life easier. What gadgets, what like little things are in the media right now that people are looking for that help make life easier. Those products, those services that you have created that can help people get organized, that can help people go from step A to step B, those things are gold. Those things will really help business owners out there accomplish new things and get to that revenue that they've been wanting to get to simply by coming up with things that make people's life easier. So what's an example? The floor robot, the cleaning robot that goes around and gets things off of carpet, right? How incredible was that? A new invention, a new way to clean where all you have to do is press a button and it cleans your entire floor. What ideas can you come up with that make things easier for people? And I know that that's a little bit challenging because you might think like, oh, I got to patent something. I got to come up with something new. I got to create something. But what things could you come up with that can make people's life easier? Maybe it's an app. Maybe it's an app like Trello, like these organization apps that you have created that are simple in terms of the code that can make things easier for people to navigate, okay? When I think about things like GPS and things like that, they have come up with so many unique things that have made it easier for people to essentially do what they have to do, okay? So as you're coming up with new business ideas and what you want to accomplish, new goals, new intentions, think about your research in terms of what you want to sell, what product you want to have, or what service you want to provide. And is this service or product going to make people's lives easier? When it comes to how you market a product, how you put it out there, people are looking for ease, people are looking for entertainment, and people are looking for things that are fun, exciting, and enjoyable. So one of my followers was like, well, what do you think about doing a retreat? I think that's going to take a lot of time, but I am open to doing a retreat for girls that are really want to feel free in their body, really want to feel free in their identity. So how would I do that? Well, first is figuring out, doing the research first. What type of retreat, what would really sell best to people? I know it should be affordable, right? It should be easy for them to get to it, okay? So maybe something that's in the States, or maybe something that they don't need a passport to get to, okay? So maybe we go to Florida or we go to California. Also thinking about what's easy for people to be able to kind of tap into, okay? So going back to this retreat idea, having a payment plan where people can pay for it. Again, that goes back to ease. Wow, I can go on this retreat and I don't have to pay $1,000 up front. I can pay over time. Thinking about things that have made it easy for people to be able to do what it is that you want them to do in terms of how you want to accomplish things that you want to accomplish. Also, a big thing that I think brands could do more of is really just asking your followers what it is they want. So going back to the new campaign that I did, cinnamon rolls, I asked on the form, what are things that you want to see? What are things that you really, truly want? So again, talking to my business owners out there, tap in with your followers, tap in with the people who buy from you. If they're buying from you every single month, what exactly do they want? How do you find what they want? How do you discover what they want? Ask them. You probably have a network of customers that you either text, that you email, that you DM. Ask them, hey, before the year ends, as we go into our future months, what is it that you want to see from my business? What is it that my business can do to help make life better, make life easier, make life more enjoyable, make life more entertaining for you? And get a sense of what your customers truly want, okay? I think that that's so important because as we're creating new products and new services and new things on the horizon for this new year, we want to find out what people truly want. What are they going to invest their time and their money in? Okay. And for people that are like, okay, well, this is my year. This is my year to start a business. This is what I truly, truly want. Okay. Before you do that, do your research, figure out what people want, and figure out how your product or service will make people's lives easier, people's lives more enjoyable, people's lives more entertaining, and what can really help people become better versions of themselves. Because that's what everybody wants. Everybody is talking about development and self-development and getting better and being better and everything like that. So as you come up with this product or service or new vision, new plan for the year, really think about what you can do and what audience you can build and how people will tap in with what it is that you have, what it is that you're bringing to the table. Okay. So going back to what we talked about, new intentions, new goals, what are we trying to do for the new year? Writing those things down. Again, it's not 17 things. It's not 20 things. It's 3 things. All right. And appreciating yourself for how you even got here. You know what it takes to even get to a point where you want to start something else, or you want to find a second job, or you want to have more income. It takes a lot of guts to say, you know what, I want to have multiple sources of income. That's the type of person that I want to be. It takes a lot of heart to even be in a position to even try, right? Because so many people have gotten so caught up with what they've already got going on, that to even be in a position to want more and do better and all of these things, that even takes heart. So appreciate yourself for even saying like, all right, this is going to be my year for multiple sources of income. This is going to be my 6-figure year. This is going to be my 7-figure year. Okay. So new goals, new plans, new intentions. What is it that we are trying to accomplish for April and for the rest of the year? And before you even answer that question, go back to January. Go back to your notebook that you had in January and think about and really review what it is that you were trying to accomplish for this year, and really think about the last quarter. And have you been able to accomplish any of those goals? And if you haven't been able to, maybe scale it back a bit. And instead of it being 3 goals, it just being 1 goal. Maybe the goal is like, I just want to be healthier in 2024, or I just want to start something in 2024. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to start something. Great place to start. Great place to be at. Now you have all of the knowledge at your fingertips where you can do the research. You can figure out what people want. You can figure out what product or service you can come up with to make people's lives easier. Okay. And I've talked about this before. Let social media be your tool. Let social media be your guide. As so many people have Instagram accounts and have TikToks and things like that, as you're scrolling through the platform and looking for cool creative content and like finding stuff that's funny, that is enjoyable, that you're laughing at and everything like that, as you're super like getting into enjoying the platform, thinking about, all right, what type of product is going to resonate with this audience? What type of product is going to flourish on social media? Okay. So thinking about those things will really truly help you as you are trying to figure out what you want to do. And again, it's not 17 things. It's not 20 things. We're thinking 1 to 3 things. Okay. And allowing yourself to really, truly like deep dive and fall in love with what you're trying to accomplish, whether that be a new business idea, whether that be a new health goal, whether that be a family goal, whether that be a relationship goal, what it is that you are trying to accomplish, and doing it 1 step at a time. So to recap today's episode, we talked about goal planning, goal setting, how best to goal plan, how best to goal set. Well, again, we're in April, and you want to look back at January and think about all of the goals that you had set in January. And January is like that motivating and manifestation month. So you probably set out like a laundry list of goals that you want to accomplish, right? Now that we're in April and the first quarter of the year is over, thinking about, okay, I set these 5, 6, 7 goals. Now, what can I actually truly accomplish so that at the end of the year, I can say, I got this done. I did this. And thinking about 1 to 3 things, okay? So as we're doing new goals, new intentions, new plans, new things on the horizon, what is it that we truly want to accomplish, and focusing on one thing at a time, and maybe only writing down 1 to 3 goals, okay? Now that you've established those goals, what are 3 things you can do every single day to get you to accomplish those goals, okay? Going back to that new business idea, maybe you spend 1 hour a day doing research. What does that research look like? Googling what people want, what new products are on the horizon, okay? What is an untapped and a not so saturated market? Okay. What is a market that I can get into, that I can sell a product or service that is going to help make people's lives easier? All right. Whether that be a digital product, whether that be a physical product, whether that be a service. Okay. Maybe you're just a super organized person and you want to create guides to help people become more organized. That's something that you can do. And using your skills that you already have to be able to determine what type of product or service you want to sell to the community, and what type of community is it that's going to buy what it is you're selling. All right. So researching, planning, setting new goals, setting new intentions, and really thinking about how these goals or intentions are going to help you become at this level of success that you want to accomplish, that you want to have. Okay. And we all, like I said before, we all want to be successful. We all want to have these accomplishments. We all want to do all of these things. But the reality of it is, it starts one step at a time, one thing at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. So before you decide on what you want to accomplish this month, this year, just do some planning, do some research, and really sit back and think about what it is that you want and the why. It goes back to why even do it? Why even start a business in 2024? Okay. Why even sell a product? Why even have a second job at this time in your life? What is the why? With this extra income that you have, let's say you get a second job, right? What are you going to do with it? Okay. Maybe you'll work on paying down your bills, or work on creating more savings, or work on a college fund for your kids, right? Really thinking about your why before you decide what it is that you want to do. So when it comes to new plans, new things that we want to do, new things that we want to accomplish, right? First, figuring out your why, thinking about what you've already accomplished this year or what you haven't accomplished this year, and how your goals for the rest of the quarters of the year can align you so that 2025, you'll be in a better situation and in a better place than you were in 2024. Okay. So thinking about that, taking your time, doing your research, figuring out your why. Again, we're not just doing shit just to do shit. We're doing shit with a plan and with a purpose of what we want to do to move us forward. And why do we want to even move forward? Like, what does success look like for you? And how will you get there? And then when you get there, like, why did you even want it in the first place, right? Why is it that we want success so bad? And what is it about success that you actually want? Okay. If it's a dollar number, okay, really thinking about that dollar number and how you can get there. one step at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 day at a time. So to recap this episode, we talked about new goals, new intentions, new plans, how to move forward, how to get from where we're at in 2024 to get to a place where we can be even greater and even better in 2025. So as this new month sets and comes into full fruition, let's take it one step at a time, think about our goals, think about what we plan to do, and let's get there by creating a plan and thinking about 1 to 3 things that we can accomplish to get us there. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. And again, this is Ebony with The Identity is She. We talk self-love, mental health, life goals, everything that is all about just being free in your identity and loving yourself, loving everything about your life, no matter what you look like, no matter what you weigh. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your morning.